Hello and welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. Today we're going to be taking a look at this interesting take on black-red. It's normally mono black's well known for being an aggro color, mono red's known for an aggro color. In fact, mono black can sometimes be referred to as a suicide color. In this case, this take on the deck is not really about suicide, paying off your own life total trying to get your enemy down, but it's about suiciding your own creatures. Well, it's not for big loss. There is a greater good in this. So let's take a look at the Chaos and Mayhem deck. So let's go with the utility things first. So 3 shocks and some murders and some. Actually, that's about it in terms of getting creatures out of the way. So maybe we might need to explore a more resilient package. But let's take a look at speaking of creatures, let's take a look at what we got. We got Doom Dissenter. When it dies, create a 2/2 black creature token. Reassembling Skeleton. When it dies, you can just pay 1 in the black to bring it back again. Goblin Instigator comes in pairs. Swab Goblin. Okay, this one might be one of the weak links, but it's at least a 2/2 for 2, not too shabby. We got one of our payoffs in Ravenous Harpy. It's 3 mana for 1/2, but for 1 additional mana, sacrifice another creature. You can buff this guy. We also got 4 copies of Act of Treason, which allows you to sacrifice your opponent's creatures instead of your own. Now, this is a very interesting trick, but 4 copies might be a bit too many. Well, this does help in the suicide aspect, where usually if you're going all in aggro, you start going into a race situation. Your opponent might be, oh, I just leave 1 or 2 creatures back, that should be enough, I could get... It becomes a race against life totals. An Act of Treason is basically +1 attacker for you, -1 defender for your opponent. It's sometimes enough to win the game. We got a single copy of Grave Digger to bring some of our creatures back. We got a Demon of Catastrophes. It's a payoff in itself. You have to sacrifice a creature to cast it, but it's a 6/6 for 4. Quite good. Goblin Trashmaster buffs your goblins. Probably could make this more goblin aligned, but it also has the benefit of allowing us to destroy artifacts. Well, I don't know how relevant this one is. There is another goblin I'm thinking of. Rekindling Phoenix, mono red all-star. It's a 4/3 for 4 that your opponent has to kind of destroy twice. Otherwise, it just keeps coming back again and again and again. Here's another one of our payoff creatures. It's a Brawl Bash Ogre for 4 mana for a 3/3 with Menace. And when it attacks, you can sack a creature, becomes a 5/5. Now, this might sadly be one of the better payoffs of this deck. I'm going to see if we can find better ones. Blood Divination, draw 3 cards, but you have to sacrifice a creature. Might be better off with Costly Plunder from the black-green deck, because at least you can cast it in response to your opponent trying to remove one of your guys. This one does give us more cards, but actually it's not even more cards. It's just +1 card for +2 mana. Might be able to make that swap. We do have Siege Gang Commander. This is probably the better one. Army in a can, and allows you to sacrifice a goblin to shock your opponent or any creature, therefore. We have another payoff here, Open the Graves. This one, personally, I find it a bit underwhelming because it's 5 mana, then you have to start sacking things. By this time, you either have a lot of stuff and this one's just win more, or you barely have any stuff and you kind of wish you had any creature over this. Gravewaker is something... Gravewaker, sorry. This is something I can get behind more. Basically, all the creatures you sacrifice, this is one of your engines to get things back. Might have to also look at a way to bring creatures back. Probably some of the cards from the mono black deck would help here. So we have a lot of things to look at. Probably finding better substitutes for Act of Treason, and 4 is too many. We have a basic mana base. It's also evenly split, so we might want to try to lean it towards one color over another. So, but we do have the makings of a super black-red aggro deck. I kind of missed the previous one where it was all based on pirates, but this one's not too bad. That said, let's go into a constructed event. I honestly don't know how well this deck works. Might not be as great as Graveyard Bash. This one also had some sacrifice teams. Might not be as great as the previous one. I kind of enjoyed that one a bit, even though it was a bit iffy. But let's put it to the test. Let's see how well it does. So I'm gonna have to. I'm probably gonna figure out a better way to censor our opponent's name. But until then, oh yeah, let's show. I'm gonna show off something right now. Still having a problem with Act of Treason. It kind of messes things up. But otherwise, yeah, it's still in the deck list. Maybe that's also another reason why I want to substitute it. Okay, so that was a bit of a weird one, but we have a reasonable turn 2 into maybe a turn 4 play. I kind of wish I had a lot of other things. So, still waiting on this. Opponent's saying it's time making decisions. Probably gonna mulligan. I'm definitely gonna keep this one, that's for sure. So, yeah, I almost clicked mulligan. Many apologies if I start messing up and whatnot. Oh, I'm opponent mulligan to 5. I'm slightly a bit under the weather, and I'm probably gonna be making a lot of energy drink companies happy. Oh well. Opponent seems to be playing white-black life gains, so the murder is gonna be very important. Okay, murder is gonna be very important. Probably not gonna play the second Cinder Barons just yet. I need to start putting guys down. Now the need to play this land would be, or this land would be dependent on what our opponent does here. So he's our 3 mana. Probably not gonna murder our 1. Oh wait, I take it back. He's gonna murder our 1/1. Oh no, he held back. So, that said, I think we can safely play our Cinder Barons now. Actually, we don't have a choice right now. I kind of want to have the mana open. No attacks. Probably gonna... might have to take a little quick break right after this game though. Ooh, opponent's going for this one. So we definitely have a solid murder target here. Shame I can't do Act of Treason into Blood Divination. That's way too expensive. Could shock then... I could do a shock murder combo. Actually, I'm going to do that. Let's see if I can break our opponent's back now. Yeah, let's try to break our opponent's back now. Because he's down to 2 cards. Basically, we're trying to penalize him for his... mulligan. If our opponent has more threats, then we might be in for some trouble. Well, maybe not quite. Okay, our opponent is now kind of stuck, so definitely gonna play Open the Graves now. Opponent might. So at least if our opponent now that this stuck, if our opponent tries to kill our guy, we start getting some payoff back. Opponent seems to be mana flooded. Okay, he's got an Epicure of Blood. So we are at 6 mana. Not quite there yet. I wanna do the big Act of Treason Blood Divination combo. So I will pass the turn. Thankfully, Epicure doesn't have flying. Okay, we can block that. Also, thank goodness there is no restriction on when I can activate, but I now have a better target. And I have a better target and then some. So first, Act of Treason. Get the War Leader. Combat. Let's attack with these guys. Get our life linkers. And let's make sure he doesn't get the War Leader back. Opponent. I'm gonna give kudos to our opponent. He hasn't given up yet. I like that attitude a lot. Well, in fact, he's actually putting out more stuff. So he's probably gonna try to catch up using these guys. Let's see if we can dissuade him a bit. So, let's see. We could just attack with all these guys. And I can actually play Siege Gang, then kill the Epicure. Yeah, we'll do that. So, combat. I'm assuming that... I'm making some assumptions here, but it's reasonable to assume that our opponent will block the 2-2 with the 4-4. Okay, so he's gonna wipe his entire board this way. Perfectly fine with that. Should be a bunch of triggers coming. There you go. Slight delay. So now, Siege Gang. Then, yes, sacrifice. Not Siege Gang. Okay, hold on. Don't want to cancel by accident. One of the weird things when you're playing this game and you have messenger and vibrate triggers coming out of nowhere. Well, we weathered that storm. Opponent's literally playing off the top of the deck. He's gonna murder our Siege Gang. We're gonna get a zombie out of that. Perfectly fine. Probably concerned he might have a Cleansing Nova. Let's see, 2, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just attack with all. In fact, let's attack with all and at least play the Goblin Instigator. And end the turn here. Because he needs to top deck a big creature. Worst case scenario, he decks Cleansing Nova. Okay, Bishop Soldier is probably not gonna do it for him. So, in fact, I'll play the Ravenous Harpy first. So what this does is, when we proceed to attack with everything, whatever he blocks, we can sack to the Harpy so he doesn't gain life. Extra insurance. So there we go. First win is in. And... okay, we drew first blood. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little break, kind of a bit early, but I'm gonna just respond to a few messages, then we'll go to our next game. So stand by for just a second. Okay, that was a quick break. So last where we left off, not too shabby. One pretty decent win, and kudos to our opponent for not giving up the last minute. Actually, our opponent displayed very good. How do you say this? Yeah, he had very good demeanor, very good composure. At least that's what it looked like on this side. For all I know, he might be breaking his keyboard over there. So let's censor the name. I probably should do a bit where if the person is doing really well, I don't censor the name. Well, this one's a very easy keep. We have turn 1 plays into turn 2 plays. We're going first, so definitely playing Cinder Barons. No need to hold on to the shock that we don't need to play for shock value. No, just kidding. And thank goodness we did not run into a Llanowar Elves. I'm going to... okay, Forest. Let's do the Swab Goblin first. This might incentivize our opponent to play something bigger. We'll see. Okay, Woodland Cemetery, so... okay, Seeker Squire. Come on, whiff. He did not whiff, and it's worse, it's a Wild Growth Walker. So, this is where shocks are not good. So, I'm definitely going to attack. Opponent's probably gonna see this coming a mile away. Okay. This hurts me a lot because I'm spending a lot of resources just to take out his. But I have to do it. Then next turn, I'm going to have to do it again. And we need a 4th land also to... Otherwise, this payoff is not going to go well. Thankfully, there is no turn 1 explore. We didn't draw into a creature, so let's see if our opponent falls for it again. Maybe I should not have done it the first time. This was the more dangerous one. And now he's never gonna fall for it. That said, there is a... Okay. Yeah, he's gonna... Yeah, he didn't fall for it. He had to pay off right then and there. He was okay to fall for it for the first time. I probably will have to shock the ranger now. He will get his triggers though. And he willingly... Well, actually, ditching it's correct. He wasn't gonna get the benefit for the Jade Light Ranger. Now, we're going to have... Now, we need the 4th land, which we're not getting. Again, here's another issue we're having. Usually, Suicide Black, this kind of setup, wants very cheap payoffs. This is not cheap. We don't have any right now. We are in real trouble. So... Okay, then our opponent's... Let's see what he gets off the top. Ooh! Yeah, we're not gonna win this game. Especially if our opponent hits... Oh no, he's gonna hit it already. He's got the mana for it next turn. Rekindling Phoenix is not gonna do it for us. We kinda need straight up kill spells. Another issue is, because of the even black-red split, cards like Murder are not so great. See? Right on cue. Okay, so you know what? I really want... I could just concede this right then and there, but... I'm kind of inspired by our previous opponent. Also gives me a few extra minutes, I suppose. Okay... I'm not gonna say anything. Let's not come... Ooh, I like that graphic. Now... Considering it... We're probably just gonna take the damage anyway for now. And we never got that land. This was really not good. I could chump block a bunch of guys one time. But I'm gonna get ready to say good game. Oh, he's just 1 kill spell away. Yep. Good game. So there you go. The tides of fortune turn for both sides. Actually, kind of reminds me this morning there were... Well, he's got it all. Well, this morning that a bunch of people were talking about, again, RNG. You know, the usual culprit. We already have so many posts at this time dictating that RNG is going to happen to you. Well, actually, it's part of the game. Actually, any game where there is a deck of cards where things don't come out in a predetermined order, it's going to happen. You are gonna get very bad draws. Now, it'd be nice if both players got bad draws at the same time, but that's not the case. So, based on that one, it's a kind of an accepted fact of life. In fact, I'm talking about it so much I forgot to censor our opponent's name. Let's hope he is one of the good guys. I'm assuming a he because of the... You know what? Maybe all this political correctness is not so worth it. So definitely... Well, at least we got our turn 2 play, so we're not that punished. Also noticing a little bit of lag every time I play my first land. Let's see where opponents got. Doom Dissenter. Yeah, we're definitely playing Swab Goblin next. Then next turn we just play Ravenous Harpy into Rekindling Phoenix. At least that's the plan. We may have to shock something in between. Now, if our opponent is also playing the... Ooh, nice. So our opponent's playing Mono Black, and he's discovered the beauty that is Playcrafter. So we may have to cast Shock on... Oh wait, no, we don't have to. We can reassembling Skeleton. Then I'm gonna hold it back for a while because our opponent, just on the off chance our opponent has some sort of buff spell. Desecrate the tomb when one of more creature cards leaves the graveyard. So he does have a way to bring guys back. So I'm gonna take 2 damage at least. Next turn, Rekindling Phoenix. No blocks. Because I have another plan. It's gonna take 6 mana to use Ravenous Harpy. No, 7 mana. Ravenous Harpy, Act of Treason, then draw. Take something. I might have to hold back on the Rekindling Phoenix a bit. So I'm gonna play the Ravenous Harpy now. Pass the turn. So what this means is did he ditch one a while ago? Okay, he must have. So he gets a bat for his troubles. Ah no, he's just playing it now. Okay, so attack. So okay. You know what? And that's my okay. Okay, so in meantime, so this is gonna be very interesting. Let's figure out the blocks here. I need to probably block with both. So let's go to blocks. Let's see. If he doesn't have an effect, I'm going to sack the skeleton onto the harpy. If he has a... well, he might still have a combat trick. I probably should have just left this be alone. Meantime... everything's quite busy, so I guess we're going into damage. So I will sack this guy, yes. Okay, so let's see. Now this is the time for our opponent to... yeah, he's gonna blow us up. Who was I kidding? Yeah, he had the vicious... okay, so at least he is slightly down on cards. So that said... actually, we got rid of... let's see. Got rid of one removal spell. Okay, I guess we can race him this way then. Next turn we can Doom Dissenter, Reassembling Skeleton. Let's hope our opponent doesn't have 2 removal spells back to back. Then let's proceed to watch our opponent have 2 removal spells back to back. Vicious Offering was a good one. So Demon of Catastrophes. Oh, I so wish I had the... I can hit for 10. I will get hit back again for 6. I'll just play the Doom Dissenter for now. We don't have that payoff anymore. Got too greedy on that one. But I'm gonna go for... I'm gonna start putting a little pressure on him anyway. This probably won't pay off. But our opponent does have to start attacking with demons. And it does, and all it takes is for us to draw... well, we do have 3 more of this. Maybe that's why there's so many, but I still think it's too many. Let's see. Because the nice thing is we can kind of race our opponent now. Cobwalt's Return. Wait. It's when it's leave your graveyard, so he does get a bat token. So he can swing with the demon. We only take out the bat. Yeah, this can... it's gonna be slightly pricey, but we kinda have to do it. Okay. Can't play that one, so I guess we just swing with everybody. Now the bad news is Reassembling Skeletons Oh, it's a very nice combo, Desecrated Tomb. So you can... Yeah, he's gonna do that. He's gonna generate some extra bats. Well, let's just do this one now. So basically what killed us there was losing the rat. To be fair, he could have just offed the Harpy anyway. He might... He could have just done it that way. Sorry. Okay, that's the obvious block. I kind of just wanted to cycle the Doom Center. So we have unblocker now, but we're gonna take 6, 7, 8. Let's end the turn there. Really need something. Another Act of Treason might be nice. Actually, that might be the only thing that saves me. If I get Siege Gang Commander, I only get to play him. Okay, play Crafter. So... Okay, well, we'll just sacrifice the obvious. Because I can still get him back. So does our opponent. Oh, wait. Ooh. I think our opponent might have been better off just using his reassembling skeleton. It keeps more cards in hand for the suspense value. Okay, but doesn't really matter here. I'm really not drawing anything. So yeah, this is pretty much good game at this point. So when you're forced to hold everything back. Yeah, this is kind of good game here. I'll take 4 damage from the sky. Okay, no, it's really good game there. This was a case where we need more sacrifice. We need cheaper sacrifice payoffs. Funny enough, we can use the egg to block something. Let's see. Take 6. Oh no, it doesn't matter. We're dead anyway. So well, it doesn't matter, but why the heck not? So let's see. Yeah, so those are the changes I definitely want to make. It's probably going to be a very short episode, which is kind of okay for me since I'm not exactly in peak. It's not peak Shepherd right now. But let's see. I could use at least one more win. That would make me a little bit happy. First game was okay. Okay, this time let's not forget the censor. Our opponent. The one thing I'll tell you that okay. So at least we got turn 2 plays, but again, we need to draw a black source soon or else these never go live. I will... This one's a bit scary, but we do have both colors and we do have things to do, so I will keep this hand. And our opponent goes first, so we get an extra draw. Still possible to get shafted here, but... Okay, we might be on the road to getting shafted. So we need at least... But at least, and if we draw, even if we draw another mountain, we still have a live play. So there's that. Let's play the Doom Dissenter. So at least we got the Ravenous Harpy out. Worst case scenario. I could appreciate... Okay, we got our Swamp. So I have options here. I could just murder this guy now. I could play the Ravenous Harpy to set up a combo of sorts. I'm just gonna play the Harpy first. Let's see what our opponent does. What kind of flavor of green-black this is. This actually reminds me of one of my old... Well, Sans the Guild Gates. So our opponent has his own murder. Terrific. Now... But he's still holding back. Well, this one's kind of annoying. Probably should play the Brawl Bash Ogre first. Then we can Act of Treason in... Again, this is me playing best case scenario, but our opponent hasn't even started attacking, so... We might be able to hold back a little bit. Maybe? Kinda? We'll see. Let's see what his turn 5 play is. Ghost-Spore Shaman. Oh, okay. This is the value deck. So he's thankfully got a bunch of good stuff out. So we can Act of Treason the Trashing Brontodon. Shock the Ghost-Spore Shaman. Attack with all. But I'm sacrificing now because that's it. So there, we cleared the board. We got some synergy, but it was quite costly. Opponent has another Brontodon, so at least we could sacrifice. Or not. This is gonna be so annoying. I really apologize to our opponent right now. And we have the murder backup. Our opponent's probably more incentivized to play kill spells. Or he probably does have something that comes back from the graveyard now. Let's see what our opponent has. Golgari Fine Broker. He's gonna get something back. Act of Treason number 3 just to tilt our opponent. No, it's a Blood Divination. Okay, attack. Yeah, sack this guy. Get our zombie. Now let's see, our opponent's gonna play Glowspore into something. The trick is if we can keep our opponent off 2 blockers, we might be able to... Because we only need to hit with the Brawl Bash Ogre once. We don't even need to sack a creature. Okay, let's hold back the murder. Let's see what our opponent does. He might get greedy and play a Journey to Eternity. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Okay, Glowspore Shaman first. Let that resolve. If he chucks some cards. He's probably not going to put a land. He probably does. Oh, he did. I think he was digging for land that last time. His first Glowspore whiffed. Let's see, what's his next creature? Molder Hulk. Okay, so I might have to... Oh, wait. I still win. I got back-to-back murders. So opponent's gonna hold back. He knows he has to block Brawl Bash. He just doesn't know I got the second murder. And... let's just sack that one so that answers the question. Whew. So we managed to... So thankfully we did draw that other swamp. We lucked out on that one. Doesn't always happen like that, but at least I got the second win I wanted, so I can't complain too much. But could we go for a third win? Okay, let's go. Let's take a look. I'm already having some ideas. Definitely we want cheaper ways to sack creatures. We might have to dig into artifacts or whatnot. I already have some ideas with yeah, definitely also want some more instant speed stuff. Okay. Definitely keeping this hand. I'm starting to feel like this deck is actually slanted more towards red, but all the good cards are in black. That might be another thing we might have to shift. So definitely keeping this one. I guess the plan I could do is start with the black mane because that answers creatures. Then we can shift towards then shift all the burn spells at red. So if we realize our opponent is less okay. Now let's see. Okay, let's see how important the Danto Vanguard's to our opponent. Is he willing to give up? How much life is he willing to give up? Also, this one might be a bit annoying for the interface. Though to be fair, Ixalan predated MTGA. If they figured they were gonna do this, they probably might have put some sort of condition on the pay for life. What is right now stuck? Okay, there you go. Let's see. Is he willing to pay for life now? No, he's not. So it's not that crucial. That probably means he has more creatures on board. So Goblin Rogue, Instigate, right? Yeah, this Goblin Rogue. So I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna try to aim for Brawl Bash Ogre turn 4. So okay, another shock target. That's a good news. And we got our mana. So let's shock. Shock out of this. So far it seems to be kind of stable at least. Shield Mare can't be blocked by red creatures. That's okay. My plan is not to block him anyway. My plan is to take him and sack him. So, and I can actually still block it. But we will be giving our opponent 3 life just to take it. We might have to take that instead. Let's see. Knight's Pledge. Okay. So he attacks with this one. We have a race, but I'm still taking the Resplendent Angel. That one's still way too dangerous. Okay. So we have to Act of Treason now before he starts gaining life. We're not going to gain life out of this. But that doesn't matter. We just need to get rid of it. And it acts like a pseudo removal of sorts. Now, if we could draw another Act of Treason, that would really be great. Shall I Voice the Plenty? Okay, we might have to take that first. Command removal spell. Open the Graves. That's actually not bad. I'm gonna play the Open the Graves first. So the interesting thing is I can swing with this guy. Sack the Instigator. So we get our 2/2. We got our payoff. Our opponent is incentivized to double block. Oh no, he's not going to go for the double block. He probably has a way to Johnny's Pride Mate, but no life gain. Probably just means I don't want to target shield. Well, I can't target Shield Mare anyway. But I will play Ravenous Harpy. Combat. Attack. Swing with the Brawl Bash Ogre. Probably sack this Goblin. So he has to block now. I will take out the Shield Mare first. Oh no, he's gonna block with... Oh, he's gonna go with that block. Well, Shalai's gonna go then. So, at least I still get a zombie out of the trade. And I'm probably just gonna play the Reassembling Skeleton now. Let's see if we can go over the sides. We might be able to. And can't play Gravewalker. I can swing with So I'm gonna attack with Ravenous Harpy. So sacrifice the Reassembling Skeleton. Be very annoying by returning it, then sacking it again. So that means we can kill our opponent next turn. So just gonna hold off on that for now. So let's see if our opponent has the Cleansing Nova to clear the... Nope. And our opponent concedes. So we managed to survive that one. Open the Graves is a good fit for the deck, so we will definitely be keeping it. We just need to have better ways to enable Open the Graves. Think of it as Path of Discovery. Path of Discovery was a good payoff in itself too. You just needed... But depending too much on Explore creatures was not, so we just depended on regular creatures. And lots of ways to produce them. So far so good, 3 wins. And all the games were relatively fast. Still waiting a bit, so I'm gonna hide it for now. Okay, so opponent came in. Okay. Let's name this out. Okay, there you go. Let's see what we got. And this is a hand I can get behind. So I'm definitely keeping this one. Yes. Based on this one, the red mana is more important early on, but we need... Yeah, we need to fix these double mana costs. That said, Murder is still the... Murder's still the perfect card. I guess Cast Down's a good substitute. So we're gonna go white for now. Let's see what our opponent has. We don't have any payoffs yet, but if he plays on Johnny's Pridemate, I will murder. Okay. Yeah, I will murder it on the spot. Let's hope for our opponent's sake that their game plan is not revolving around that. Okay. Let's see. Turn 3 play. Ooh, green-white. History Pana. Oh my, this might be the Aura's deck. And we might be in some trouble. Probably don't want to Act of Treason just yet. I'm gonna play the Reassembling Skeleton first just to be annoying. We kinda need 2 more mana to make good use of this. We need a red mana specifically to buff our goblins. Question is, am I willing to throw away... Okay, Leonin Vanguard, so he's gonna gain some life back. Question is, am I willing to throw away 2 of my creatures against one of their knights? Yes. Well, our opponent did not give us that opportunity. We did get... Bad news. It's red mana. That's not... No, it's not red. It's black mana, so... I could Act of Treason one of his guys, swing in. It just takes 2. That does... We have no payoff, so it does absolutely nothing. At least any other land starts giving us a payoff, so I'll pass the turn here. This is going to be really bad. Watch our opponent's board presence grow. We're going to go down to 12, 10. Divine Visitation. Thankfully, this just gains life. Oh, I can block one actually. So we can still be annoying, but the moment our opponent starts making tokens, we are in trouble. Okay, we did get our pseudo payoff, so we might be able to steal some angels from the outfield. We really need that mana though. Then again, we'll see what our opponent has. So far, it looks like our opponent's probably gonna play most of his cards on his turn. That's what it looks like so far. Saproling Migration. He's gonna get 2 angels out of this. Thank goodness he didn't have this. He didn't have the 6-9. 4 angels would have been a real problem. So the good news is I can jump block. So let's see how we block at least. So he's gonna attack with those 2. Attack with that. So let's go to blocks. Opponent seems to be slightly tapped out, so we have 1 mana. So I'm gonna block this Vanguard. Throw these goblins away, block this guy. Let's see if he has a no. Now let's hope we don't get blown out by like last time and experience that response again. Now, our immediate goal is to grow our creatures a little bit so that... Okay. So we managed to pull off a few trades. I kind of want to Act of Treason 1 angel. Swing with it. Can I afford to take... Okay, this is... Okay, let our opponent know it. It's going to take some... Can I afford to take 8? I could still gum up the ground. Generally, the best place to just open the graves, then do the Act of Treasoning next turn. At least I get something to buff it with. Because the other plan is to just simply take one of the angels now, sack it. Okay, let's just go big later. So we're definitely not blocking. We really need to keep Harpy alive. 6 mana. If it's another Saproling Migration, I'm gonna cry. Oh gosh, this is gonna be a problem. So we're gonna take 8. No blocks. We're definitely gonna lose this one. But let's see if we can go out with a little style. Okay, got 6 mana. So we can actually take a creature. Combat. Attack. Let's assume with this guy, cause why not? He's not gonna trade. Yeah, there's no reason for him to trade. So let's sack this guy now. Yeah, we were better off just taking the 1 angel earlier. It would have saved us a little damage, but we're still in real trouble here. Actually, yeah, we don't have enough blockers, so that's it. Kind of slowed down. Act of Treason by itself is not enough. And, well, thankfully our opponent's not going to try to. So, let's just block one of these to get out of the way. And that's it for this run. It's actually quite still respectable. 3 wins. Opponents play against opponents playing decks like these. So we're gonna collect our winnings. Then we're gonna proceed to examine what to do. Well, at least we also got our payoff here. So okay, let's get even more payoff. Actually, I was looking for that uncommon. I was not looking for that uncommon. It's excellent, so I will accept that common. So that's it for this run, but we're not done yet. We're going to see how we can make this deck better. And there we go. So this is the deck list as it is. As you can see, we have way too many 4-drops. We do have a good number of 2-drops. That's the good news, but way too many sorceries. We need to trade some of these off into instants. So first of all, Blood Divination's gonna go. I like the idea of sacrificing a creature, so costly. We do need to draw cards, so Costly Plunder is my go-to. That's my one plan. Let's see if I can find another gain control. Oh wait, I need to set this into standard also. So let's see. Gain control. Okay. Angrat's actually a nice fit. Let's just put him in. It's not only because it's not often you're going to find something that will fit. So gain control, target, creature. So that should narrow things down. Gain control, target, creature. So Captivating Crew. This one is repeatable, but it's also quite expensive, and we are having a 4-drop problem. If I wanted to go back to the pirate plan, Dire Fleet is, let's see, Hijack. This one is same cost, gains control of an artifact too. It also hurts our mana base. Killed an Overseer, no, that's way too expensive. Shame we don't get the cheap ones, so might have to gain life. Severed Strands is a decent kill spell, but it's a sorcery. I might actually prefer the Vicious Offering. At least it gives us an option to not spend a ton of money. Plague Crafter is also a decent option for a pseudo removal as well. So with that said, yeah, the Act of Treason plan is kind of costly. That's going to go to the sideboard. Maybe not even all 4 copies. Let's just leave 3 for now, but I think 4 copies is too many. Now, let's look for our payoffs. Sacrifice a creature. So, there's the Blood Divination. Brazen Freebooter. No, this just creates tokens. So, same with Lannery Storm. So, a bunch of cards that we're going to have to look through. Chainer's Torment. No, that sacrifices Saga, makes a creature. Contract Killing makes tokens. Dark Dweller Oracle sacrifices our own and has to... this is another way to draw cards. If we do the Dark Dweller plan, we have to shift towards lower mana costs. Demanding Dragon isn't decent. It's a decent top end, and we actually get one copy or two copies from the mono red deck. So that's said, Dismissive Pyromancer just sacks itself. Goblin Barrage sacks goblins, so that is another way around it. We just need, but let's see, Heartlet's Pillage. Discard. That's just discard cards plans. Okay, that doesn't fit our plan. Makeshift Munitions. Sacrifice an artifact or enchantment. Deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Relatively cheap. It's an enchantment, but I'm not quite liking it because our only repeatable source of damage is Reassembling Skeleton. That said, I am not opposed to using it. Sure, you have to spend mana for it, but it is kind of sure. We're definitely going to put some Plague Crafters in this sideboard. Pilfering Imps to sack itself. Prying Blade, Remorseful Cleric. Rite of Bells Unlock. Oh no, this just creates gives us creatures to sacrifice. Severed Strands. No, I'm definitely gonna put the Vicious Offering as part of our removal suite. This might be the one case where I would rather have that over Murder. You're not gonna hear me say that every day. Talid Omnivore is another payoff, but kind of wanted more for the green. Well, Talid Soothsayer is a decent payoff too, I get. Oh no, 2 mana. No, that's not a good payoff at all. So based on that, Torgar's a decent payoff. What is Undercity Necrolisk? Sacrifice another creature. Put a. No, this has better stats, but Ravenous Harpy is cheaper and it flies. So yeah, we're gonna just go with Vicious Offering. Oh yeah, let's drop the Swab Goblins. Vona's Hunger. Each opponent sacrifice. That's interesting. It's a shame that once that if a creature dies, that's black-green. Whisper is also a decent sacrifice outlet. But let's see. Okay, first the Trash Master's gotta go. We're not gonna get that big a payoff. Gravedigger's gonna go 2. That's way too expensive for what it does. I'm putting in Vicious Offering, so the Murder's gonna hit the sideboard. And probably only 2 copies at that. We'll keep the Open the Graves. We'll keep the Gravewaker maybe. But this one is quite pricey. If I wanted something that returned cards, the Macabre Waltz a while ago would do it. Actually, let's. Okay, I'm gonna keep the Siege Gang Commander because we're going to maintain the Instigators for some sort of plan. Actually, there's another Goblin I want to put in instead of the Wily Goblin. Goblin Crater Maker. This one sacks itself to deal damage. This one's actually quite perfect. So 3 copies of that. We'll keep the Doom Dissenters. We'll keep the Demon Catastrophes. We're going to actually keep most of this deck intact. Reassembling Skeleton is interesting, but this might. Okay, I might want to sub this one out. Let's put this in the maybe board, but I'm not. This one performed, but not too happy. Oh yeah, I definitely want to have Lightning Strikes. No, I was dissing Shock a bit, but it turns out it's actually a decent card because it's very cheap. I guess I could make it Shivan Fire since I was. But then again, let's look at. So we're gonna have some Vraska's Contempts, but they're actually gonna stay in the sideboard. So just 2 copies because those are very pricey. So 3 copies of Vicious Offering, 2 copies of Cinder Baron. No. Okay, Cinder Baron's gonna go. Dragon Skill Summit's gonna go up. Now we're still main red. In fact, we're more red now, so we're probably gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna propose that you actually need to have another Rekindling Phoenix. Wait, let's see what. So 3 Brawl Bash Ogres, keep the Demon, Doom Dissenter. Yeah, I guess we could bump that up to 4. Crater Maker's relatively good at 4. So we have several ways to sack stuff. We don't have any more ways to clear the board anymore, so, since we dumped the Act of Treason to the side. So we're gonna try to take advantage of the graveyard synergy with Open the Graves. Actually, let's take a look at some of the Undergrowth cards, since we're going to have a lot of creatures in the graveyard. Mausoleum Secrets search for a black card. We could use it to tutor. It's a one-off that we can use to tutor Vicious Offering, maybe Murders or Plaguecrafters off the sideboard. This is interesting. We can use it as a tutor of sorts. Something to consider. But the deck is mostly red. Necrotic Wound can fit. We're not too priced into sacrificing creatures. This is more of a late game card though. I can see substituting Necrotic Wound, Vicious Offering with Necrotic Wound. I would like to have at least one okay, this is 7 mana. I take it. Change my mind. Moodmark Painter. This one did some work for me in the draft last time. That said, yeah, there doesn't seem to be any good payoff. Let's try the Surveil cards. That's another one that dumps. That's another one that dumps stuff. So we're avoiding the cards that explicitly talk about Surveil, but we're looking for. Okay, maybe that's a really bad one. Deadly Visit's a bit expensive. We're looking for cheap ones. Mephitic Vapors. Interesting sideboard card. It does wipe our board too, though. Doom Whisperer. I guess this is a deck that probably wants to have one. Let's see if we can find something better. Whisperings. No, actually, most of the good Surveil cards are actually blue. Well, save for Doom Whisper, but this doesn't quite fit the deck. We do have this one plan. It's centered around Oh wait. If we're going to have a bunch of really cheap creatures, we might as well at least have one Legion War Boss. It mentors, it makes its own creatures, and it buffs a lot of our smaller creatures, so there is that. It only buffs them once. We have no way of buffing this up anymore. I could also make this a true suicide deck. Basically, you start plopping enchantments on your guys, but very inefficient. We're actually better off just wanting to trade. Actually, maybe not War Boss. Maybe the Goblin Mentor, the one that you can pump. That's an interesting one. Well, Chain Whirler is a good fit here. Yeah, Goblin Banner, it might actually be a better fit. Okay, before we do that, let's assume that we put the reassembling skeletons back. We actually have a slight zombie team here, so here's another plan we can do. I actually might like this better. So the instigators are gonna go. I like the Crater Makers better. We're gonna bump up the reassembling skeletons, and we're gonna actually add 2 Death Barons here. Cause think of it, Open the Graves makes zombies. Reassembling skeletons is a skeleton. Well, they both benefit from Death Baron. We have Plaguecrafters off this. No, that's a Human Shaman. Let's see. Actually, check out our zombies. I know there's some that we get to sacrifice stuff. In fact, if we have a bunch of creatures that die, we could take advantage of it with Graveyard Marshal. That might be a better plan. It's a bit convoluted. It's not exactly very cheap. Actually, maybe Midnight Reaper might be better. It's another way to draw cards. Yeah, that might be a better plan. So, probably just one mid. Okay, let's keep the Grave Waker here. But actually, no. It's a bit pricey. Actually, there's a better card. So we're definitely gonna have Eldest Reborn. 1 copy here. 2 copies in the sideboard. So we got 3 slots left. Definitely. Okay, so we're gonna have Eldest Reborn. We have Plague Crafters to help control our opponent's board. So, oh yeah, let's add some Banefires because that's pretty much our only way out against control. So just 2 copies of that. And yeah, probably just a 4th shock on the sideboard. So let's check this out. Let's analyze the deck, see how much better it is or not so. But our first aim is to drop the mana cost. Mission accomplished. So we have decent creatures at 3 and 4, some decent enchantments at 5 and up. Still kind of missing the sorceries. I guess we can make room for Act of Treason by ditching the Death Baron reassembling skeleton plan. This is really more of a get back stuff from the graveyard plan over. In fact, Doom Dissenter might be better here because of that. We have the Death Baron. And the Siege Gang Commander is probably not so great anymore. So let's ditch that. Let's ditch the Commander. We still have the Dissenters. I'll add a 4th Crater Maker. That's pretty much my... Yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. We might have way too much removal. Shock, Vicious Offering, Lightning Strike. At least they're all cheap. And they're all relatively easy to play with, so... let's land check. Oh yeah. Let's group the cards and analyze again. We should have 25 lands. We did cut the mana cost down, so we could afford to make it 24. Oh no, it's already 24. I already cut 1 land out. Okay. So let's check the mana base. We're actually more black now because of that shift. So, and it's only Crater Maker and Lightning Strike that really wants the 2nd turn red mana, so... Unfortunately, we can't use... This is probably the best place to add Evolving Wilds. So, I'm gonna add 4 copies of it because we're not critical in turn 1. We'll shave off the islands instead. This is probably the cheapest way I can bring it down. So, yep, this is much better. We're much closer. We're much closer in distribution. So, yeah, I guess this is going to be our deck. It's not quite all in on the Sacrifice team. I guess the problem with the Sacrifice is it needed a lot of mana to set it all up in 1 turn. You were setting it up in over 2 turns. You were very vulnerable then. Also, the Act of Treasons were interesting on their own, but they really worked when you had the outlet, like the Harpy or the Brawl Bash Ogre. Without the outlet, you were really hurting yourself. So we basically increased the number. Well, actually, increasing the number of outlets is even dubious. I guess I can substitute the Vicious Offering with Cast Down now that we're not too priced in. The Sacrifice team, yeah, Cast Down is definitely a better fit here. So I'm gonna make that edit off camera, but don't forget, we're not into the Sacrifice that much. I think we actually have enough Sacrifice already at this point. So there you go. So that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you liked what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Releases might be a bit slightly delayed. Work has been coming up really well, but I'm I'm still gonna do my best. Just take little breaks here and there. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you guys again next time.